Hello, I'm WBZ TV meteorologist Barry Burbank. I have your forecast for today and the next several days, and taking a quick review here and a look at February 2018 so far. We've got a lot of red squares in there, and that's indicative of above average temperatures, and the mean so far this month has jumped to plus 3.6, something we didn't really had expected it would be that warm this February. Thought it would be closer to flat or just a little bit above, and it looks like the upcoming week is going to contain probably red squares almost right across the board. Almost every single day will have above average temperatures, so this mean number is going to be inflated quite a bit, especially on Tuesday and Wednesday. Wait till you see the temperatures, which I'm expecting on those 2 days. That's when it's going to max out then. In the meantime, we want to show you a couple of things. First of all, I want to open up the shot really and show you what the temperatures were this morning up in Canada, because this is really quite impressive. Up in Cambridge Bay, way up here near the Arctic Circle, almost 50 below zero. Our friends at Baker Lake, you know how we talked about all our friends up there at Baker Lake? It's 49 below zero this morning. What is happening in the atmosphere, we call it sudden stratospheric warming. And when that happens above, there is warming that takes place eventually. At the stratospheric level, there's a big dome of high pressure which builds up in here and creates intense cold. I mean, this is really intense. And it looks like eventually this high pressure is going to start building southward with its cold air and eventually set up a blocking weather pattern, and that would favor wintry weather here with colder than average weather and snowier than average weather potentially for a chunk of March. Not etched in stone yet, but it's trending in that direction. In the meantime, we've got the cold weather for today, although it'll be warming up to the upper 30s, which is just about average for February 17th. And then we have this storm to watch down over the plain states. It's moving rapidly to the northeast. Snow moving across the parts of Illinois into Indiana and Ohio this morning into the afternoon hours. Rain south of that. Probably no severe thunderstorms, but a few scattered thunder showers way down there. And as that storm gets closer to us, it'll be cold enough to bring winter back to New England. As a result, the National Weather Service has these watches and warnings up starting at 7 o'clock tonight and ending by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Near and north of the Mass Pike, it's a winter weather advisory because lower amounts of snow are expected there. I'll show you that in a minute. In the pink zone, it's a winter storm warning where I expect higher amounts of snow here, but still not a blockbuster storm because of the speed of the system. And a winter storm watch is up on the Cape. It looks like some snow and rain is going to be happening down there, but it's going to be so close, right on the threshold of going back and forth between those two phases of precipitation, so it's hard to say. But here's the upshot on tonight's storm is that it's going to be a quick moving disturbance, and the majority of the snow falls between about 9 p.m. and just before 6 o'clock in the morning. By the time we get to 6, it's really starting to taper down, so probably 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. when most of the snow will follow. And melting will commence during tomorrow as the sun comes out rapidly, and it goes up to the low and middle 40s for highs tomorrow afternoon. The good thing is there's no strong winds with this system, and no coastal concerns, no coastal flooding is going to be taking place with this storm. But there will be snow accumulating, and much of the region will get 3 to 5 inches in this lighter blue shading here. But there could be a narrow swath of snow, some places part of Plymouth County across Bristol County into central Rhode Island and into eastern and southeastern Connecticut, where 5 to maybe as much as 6 or 7 inches could fall. And then south of that line, it'll drop off dramatically depending on how much rain is going to be occurring here. The tough call in the forecast, or at least the toughest call, will be what happens on Cape Cod. So in Boston so far and in Worcester, we've had these snowfall amounts to date, just about 40 inches in Worcester and about 29 inches in Boston. That's about average in Boston and just a little bit below the average to date for the Worcester area. So we'll be adding to those totals, and I think probably 3 to 4 inches is a pretty good amount that Boston should be receiving from this system. When the snow starting around 8 o'clock this evening, much earlier to the west, there's this rain line down here. It comes up into Cape Cod and sort of waffles. This line kind of waffles back and forth as we go through the night, and much of this region is going to get some pretty good snow amounts, and the snow tempo will be fairly high for a while, and then that more than an inch of snow per hour could fall. And then it's tapering down by 5 in the morning, becomes lighter snow, maybe changing to rain again, off and on rain and snow over the Cape. And then it clears out right after that. Bing, it's rapid clearing. By 8 o'clock in the morning, the sun comes out. We'll have just a few scattered clouds passing by. In the afternoon, it'll be sunny, and it warms up. After that, it looks like Monday will turn out cloudier during the afternoon, especially as these clouds roll in, followed by some showers coming in. That's the leading edge of the very warm air that's coming in this upcoming week. Highs today in the upper 30s for the most part. 38 should be the average high. And the lows tonight will be 30 to 32, except some 20s way out here. It's going to be a pasty, wet snow, a high water content type snow. Tomorrow with the sun back out, we go up to around 44 or so in many spots. And here's this real cold air building in Canada. Now what eventually is going to happen, which you're not seeing on this particular map, it's after what happens this week is what we're going to be watching very closely. There's a strong ridge of high pressure in this red-orange zone, and the jet stream just punches and pushes this warm air up our way for Tuesday and into Wednesday. After that, this flattens off, and the cold air starts building southward. We'll just have to see what happens after that. So we're going to make a run at 70 this week in Boston. Last time we got to 70 was 75 on November 3rd, and we had 70 degrees back. In February, we had 70 degrees once back on February 24th, 1985. Then we had 73 degrees last year on February 24th, 2017. And this year, it looks like we have a shot of going over 70 degrees. In fact, on Tuesday, I should say Wednesday, I think we'll have a record high temperature, perhaps beating the old record by 9 or 10 degrees. That set way back in 1906. These will be your potential temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That Thursday temperature will be achieved just after midnight, and it'll cool after that. So this week, this President's Day week, is going to be similar to last year for President's Day week, vacation week, when we had some very high temperatures. In February last year, it was almost 5 degrees above average for the mean temperature. So here we go with some warm weather this week. 66 on Tuesday, 72 on Wednesday. But both Tuesday and Wednesday, much, much colder on the New England South Coast, Cape Cod, and the islands, with the wind coming up across the cold Atlantic. It'll only be in the upper 40s to lower 50s in those places. So if you want those 66 to 72 readings, you've got to be near Boston, points west and northwest of the city. And then it turns cooler by the end of the week. And then we'll have to see what happens in March. Who knows? We may have some March madness around here. And that's not just basketball. You can watch WBZ News tonight at 11 o'clock. You can also see it at 8 o'clock on My TV 38 for the latest news and weather updates.